Hi Maya,
Hi.
how are you doing?
What kind of question is it?
Just how are you? How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
yeah, I'm fine. It's sunny, so I'm trying to appreciate it.
So, will you tell us a bit about yourself?
Now I'm feeling like I'm at real interview for a job. Well, I'm a student, and for a long time I didn't know what to study because I'm interested in a lot of things at the same time. That was my foundation year. Now I'm going to study biotech because I feel that it's a good combination between different fields and I can do a lot of stuff at the same time.
So, what kind of things are you interested in?
I'd say I'm mostly interested in music and science. At the same time, I'm also interested in yoga. So I like a lot of stuff from different fields, and it's sometimes hard to choose one. I think that I got interested in so many things because I always try to be open-minded and try new things, and then I had this attitude to not to limit myself and to maybe try things even if I don't think they might suit me. That's why I ended up with so many interests.
What was the last thing that you did that you would say wouldn't suit you, but you found that it does?
Maybe it was. I think it might have been business stuff, because I'd never say that I could do this, like thinking about new products, like trying to get into market and this kind of stuff. I'd never say that it would suit me, but then I thought about it in a different way, that it could be actually a way to find new solutions, how to improve people's lives. And that was I feel that it's all about the mindset and attitude, because if you realize how you could enjoy something and at the same time use your strengths and try to fulfill yourself, then I feel like you can get interested in everything. Yeah.
What would you say is something that does suit you? Something that's stereotypically Maya?
I think it's yoga. And always when I meet someone and they ask me about yoga, I'm trying to convince them to try it, because yoga is like part of my daily routine that I just can't cope without. So every day I wake up, I need to do yoga, because I know that otherwise I'm just not going to feel like myself. And it's actually funny because I started around January. Now it's just such a habit that I really can't imagine not doing it. And I don't even remember what it must have felt like without yoga. So yeah, I'd say it's yoga.
So, will you tell us a bit about what baby Maya was like?
I don't remember much from my childhood. I think I was quite stuck in my mind a lot of time, and I was really curious about everything. I asked many questions about science, about space, about animals, and I used to have a lot of encyclopedias and books. So every time I had birthday, my whole family knew that they should give me some new encyclopedia or book. And it's a kind of weird when I think about it now, but yeah, I think I really like that thought that I was so curious, and I'd like to remind to be like this, because I think it's really amazing not to limit yourself and just try to learn as much as possible.
What would you say is your greatest strength?
Yeah, maybe it's open-mindedness, because I really feel that I know nothing, because anything that I say, it's more like a question. It's not really a statement, it's more like a question. So I like to think about things that they shouldn't be really defined, because if you go to new, like if you discover new circumstances, then you're going to realize that it wasn't true. So maybe we shouldn't stick to, like solid facts, and instead try to be more abstract with things. And I think that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I like about myself.
What has been your greatest struggle?
When?
Anytime, now, in the past, anything that you perceive to be a struggle?
Maybe the fact that I need to decide sometimes on one thing and then stick to it, because I tend to shift between things, not knowing what exactly I should do. And like, time is limited, so I realize that in real life I really need to stick to something sometimes. And it's been really hard for me, because in high school I didn't know if I should maybe go more into science, maybe into business, maybe into arts, because it all just sounded so amazing and interesting that it was extremely hard for me to choose, and I still struggle with this.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
It would be teleportation. I really feel like I need to go to places, and right now it just takes too much money and time to do it spontaneously. But I'd love to. I'd love to go to places, like for a weekend trip to China or to Japan, and that would be fun.
I agree. So, this might be vague, but what is your favorite thing in the world? Do you have a favorite thing in the world?
Well, it's probably people. Even though I'm quite introverted, so I need to spend a lot of time on my own, I really appreciate the inspiration that people give me. And whenever I meet someone, I'm trying to find something that they can teach me. And I always find it. Like, I don't even have to think much. It's just there, and it's so inspiring. Sometimes I meet people, and just out of one conversation I'm so excited afterwards that I can't stop really thinking about it. So yeah, I think even though I like spending time alone, I still have this great appreciation of people and what they can give me.
So, what does happiness mean to you?
It's really well, I watched a movie once, and it's called Into the Wild. So the conclusion from this movie is that there was this quote that happiness is only real when it's shared, and I totally agree with this. I feel that I couldn't be really happy if I didn't have people around me who I can share my happiness with. So even though, yeah, I might get excited about small things like sunshine or the look of someone else's eye, but I'm not going to be happy overall if I can't really share it with someone who really cares. So yeah.
So, what do you think is something that is true that people don't usually agree with?
That's a tricky question.
Take all the time that you need.
Yeah, I need to think about it.
You really
It's
believe
like-
in it.
Yeah, it's one of those questions that sound quite easy and basic, but then if you think about them, it's really not.
And if you don't want to answer this, we can skip it and
I think we can come back to it later.
yeah.
Maybe I will come up with something then.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes when I stop thinking about something for a moment, then it just automatically after a while it just pops into my head. Yeah, it's like it's really such an unconscious process that I don't fully understand, but it just happens. So yeah, we can move on.
Okay. How would your friends describe you?
It depends on a friend. I don't think, I feel that everyone has a different image of me, and that's okay, because they filter me through their own experiences. It's really impossible to define someone, because everyone has their own definition of people. But if you ask me about maybe one main point that people see, you should tell me. How can I know?
How do your enemies see you, do you think? Do you have enemies?
I don't know. I don't know about them. Maybe I do. Maybe they are hiding. So, no, I don't know. You should ask them if you know that someone is my enemy. Is Perry my enemy?
So tell us about your daily life. You told us a bit about you doing yoga every morning at 6 o'clock. Can you continue and tell us what your average day is like?
It depends. You asking me about the day when I don't need to do anything, or more when I have some responsibilities.
Your routine.
Or just
My
whatever-
routine.
Yeah, whatever day you choose to
Yeah, okay.
describe, that would be your average day, I guess.
I think every day is different in a way, but I always try to read something, just a few pages of a book. And I usually read popular science. I don't really like fiction. I think it really depends on a day. Sometimes I feel like I wanna do so much, and then I just try to learn as much as possible. But then I have days when I just wanna sleep all the time. So I don't know if we can speak about routine in my life. It's quite, even though I try to plan a lot of things, like my goals in the future, I'd say that my life is still quite spontaneous.
Okay, so you talked about you like to set goals. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I really would like to have something, create something. I don't want to work for myself, for someone else. I really want to create something, then try to sell it, and then go to conferences, meet people. Yeah, I have this strong vision of my future. I know exactly what I want to do. And I want to have my own coffee house. But it might happen when I retire. I'm not sure yet. Maybe it might happen when I'm 30, but if not, then it's definitely going to happen when I retire. But for now, I really want to meet a lot of people who are quite idealistic and who want to do something big in their lives. So that's why I think I can see myself at conferences and networking with people.
Will you tell us a bit more also about your coffee house? What would it look
Mm.
like? What would it
I was
be?
thinking about it, and I was thinking that maybe it should be coffee house on a tree house. It might not happen, but well, anyway, I know that it's. I'd love to, because I like to organize stuff like events, and that's why I know that my coffee house is going to have a lot of events with people who inspire me and could inspire my customers. I'm actually going to have this coffee house with my best friend, so we have a lot of ideas what to do. We'd like to invite people who travel and also scientists. So we'd like to have those, events, like weekly events, about different topics. That would be ideal.
It's amazing.
You always mention about science.
Yeah.
Why science?
Because it explains a lot. It's just like you keep asking why, and then you get to the heart of an issue, and it's just so satisfying. And then you realize that you have to ask even more because you didn't explain everything. So it's like it goes so deep, and you know that you might never be able to fully explain it, but still it gives me satisfaction to just know things. Even if I'm not going to use them, I just want to know. It's just like this curiosity from my childhood. It's always with me, and I always want to keep it with me. I don't want to let it go. Yeah, and science lets me do it. Lets me remain curious.
So you brought us tea, which was very nice
I
of
did.
you.
I love tea.
Yeah, tell us a bit about that, because I know that you're very interested in tea in general.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is my tea.
What flavor is it?
I'm not sure. I think it's white tea, but it's very soft. Yeah. I love going to coffee houses and places like this to talk to my friends. And coffee and tea is always a good, it's a good element of a conversation. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just a habit that I have from home. Maybe that's it.
I like how when you were talking about your coffee house,
Yeah.
you said travelers and scientists, and from what you said earlier, we know that these are two of your favorite things, like combined, kind of, because you said you want to travel everywhere and you also like science.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can you tell us a bit more about that?
About traveling and
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Well, I've only been to Europe for now, but I have this huge dream with my best friend to go to Asia on a trip that would last for a few months. That would be so exciting because, well, it just seems so exotic to me because I've never been to Asia, and I feel that I can't really judge any country not having been there. And as I've only been to Europe, I can't really speak much about what I think about different countries and about different people, because I've never been to Asia and to different places on planets. I feel that you have to experience it to say something about it. That's why I would love to go there. But it's just interesting. There's so much to try. Every day would be just trying new things all the time.
You always mentions about your friends, your best friend.
Yeah.
What does friendships mean to you?
It means a lot. It gives me the sense of safety security. And having a friend is it's good to plan things with someone, because you can keep up your motivation, and at the same time it's even more exciting to do things with someone. So if you find people who like the same stuff as you and have a similar mindset, it's just so much easier, and it's so much more exciting. Yeah.
What about family?
Yeah,
What does family mean to you?
I feel that maybe last few months I started appreciating a lot, and that's probably because I study abroad, so I'm away from my home. I'm home only a few times in a year, and I find it really important to realize that, at least for me, people from my family, they support me, and my relationship with them is really unconditional. So I just know that they're going to support me no matter what, and it's really good to know that you have someone like this, and I love them a lot. They inspire me as well, and I'm going to see them in a week, so I'm really excited.
That would also mean that you're leaving some people behind, though. When we were walking
Yeah.
on our way here, you said that you hate goodbyes.
That's true,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was thinking about it a lot, because I already said goodbye to a lot of people as they came back to their own countries. They're not going to come back to Manchester. But I realized that maybe I should just appreciate what I had with them, and I should really be grateful for what I learned, because I feel that they taught me a lot. Everyone who I've met, I could get some lesson. I just need to be conscious about it and think about it some more. So, well, I think there's no point in being sad about it. You just have to appreciate what you experienced, and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. And I'm really happy that I met them, and I'm sure I'm going to remember this. So maybe sometimes it's not good to be too attached to people. It's good to have this attitude of just appreciation of what you've experienced.
So I can see that you're wearing a lot of purple.
I love purple.
Yeah. It suits you.
Thank you.
Why purple?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. But a lot of stuff going on in my life stems probably from things that I have in my mind, and I don't know about them, like they're very unconscious. And I feel that maybe purple was also one of those things, because, well, as we know, University of Manchester, its main color is purple, and sometimes I think that maybe I made this choice to go to this uni because of purple, and I don't even know it. I have no idea why I'm so excited about purple, but I buy a lot of stuff that is purple. I'd like someone to explain it to me, but because right now I'm not able to explain it to myself.
What would you say is the main aim of your life, if you could say there is one?
I think that the main aim of all people's life is to just influence each other, because I don't see why we would live if it wasn't for different people. It's just that we are in this huge network, and once you realize it and you want to do something positive, then I think you're going to be fine. and your life is going to be meaningful. Because we don't even realize on daily basis how much we influence each other. Like even small gestures, like smiling at people or giving them a tea, it affects them. And I think it's also really important to compliment people, because I usually have a lot of thoughts in my head about people, like positive thoughts, and it's really good to transform jealousy into inspiration, because like you can say that someone is really confident, let's say, and unconsciously you feel this jealousy, you want to be like them but you don't know how. But then if you try to control your thoughts and you think about it deeper, then you realize that maybe you should actually be inspired and not, you shouldn't be jealous, you should be inspired. So about this network, I think realization that we're in this network is likely to make your life meaningful, and paying attention to small things and how it can affect people is something that I really would like to implement even more, and that's probably the main goal of my life. So it doesn't really feel huge. It sounds quite simple, but I think it's okay. So that's it.
If you could change things in the world, something in the world, what would you like to change?
I'd like to change people's attitude to sustainability and what some people do to our planet. Well, we all do it, and it's really hard to help it, but there are some small things that we could change, like reducing plastic, like using plastic straws is just so pointless to me, and I'd like people to realize how small things could change the planet, because if everyone chose to change their habits, like small habits that are easy to change, then we would end up with so much more on our planet. And yeah, I'm quite concerned about what's going to happen on Earth.
Where does that come from? Is it worrying about what future generations will feel like, or will have to go through, or why does it bother you so much if you know that, for example?
I'm not sure why exactly. I just feel really sad when I think about what our planet might look like in a few years. Well, I really appreciate the view of nature. I really love being in a countryside and places like this where you can actually feel the nature. You can actually you can just appreciate it, and I wouldn't like to live on a planet where you have no option to do it. But I'm not sure. Well, I think it's quite complex. Yeah.
If you can, take a time machine back 10 years before. If you can turn back times 10 years before, what would you like to change? Anything you want to change?
10 years back?
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to change anything. I mean, I know that, well, I made some mistakes and I wasn't really the best person I could be. But, I'm really happy with the place I'm in right now. So I know that if I have changed something, then maybe I wouldn't be here. and I'm happy that I am, so that's why I wouldn't change anything.
What's the craziest thing that pops into your head now?
No?
Or just what pops in now?
Right now my mind isn't really crazy.
What pops in anyway? What normal thing pops into your head?
Well, I was thinking today how amazing it would be if we had this device that would help you to smell things from a distance. So like you could collect some information from one place, what it smells like, and then you would have this device in another place, and you would be able to just smell that originated from the first place. And it would be so amazing. I'd love to have this.
Why smells specifically?
Yeah, I love smells. They evoke a lot of good feelings within me, and they also remind me of my memories. So sometimes, because like I told you that I don't really remember my childhood that much, but sometimes when I smell something, I just can feel it, and I can feel the exact emotion that I had that time. So I think it's quite amazing, and I get quite sentimental when I smell things sometimes.
Would you say you're a sentimental person in general?
No, I wouldn't say so. Sometimes I have moments of sentiment, but most of the time I'm not. I'm more like focused on future and on possibilities. Well, what I might do, where I might go, who I might meet. So I try not to think about past that much. That's why I probably don't remember much from my childhood, because I just tend not to focus on it. I always try to think about what might happen and what I would like to happen instead.
So how do you feel? How do you dealing with disappointment?
There are moments of disappointment that I just have to feel it and just deal. Like I don't really do anything, but after a while I realize that, well, at least that's what my mind tells me to do. I just know that I need to treat it as a lesson, try to learn something out of it. It's not good to really think about it too much. You can use it as a tool, but if you think about it too much, then you're going to be just upset, and it's not going to change anything.
You know, the more you talk about not remembering your childhood, the more I'm curious.
It's not because I had the trauma, it's not that.
No, that's not what I mean, sorry. What I mean is, okay, right now, close your eyes. Okay, you're 5 or 6 or 7. Do you remember anything? Just something small that you could share with us, a funny story?
Yeah.
Yeah? Would you like to share it with us?
But it's not funny.
Okay.
Well, I remember when I went to Spain with my parents. It's one of my memories that I have. They're really vivid. I can almost feel them. It's when I was just walking around. It was quite dark, and I could see the starry sky. And I walked around with my dad, and we talked about space and about stars and how far they are. And I still remember this sense of curiosity and this need to possess knowledge, and it was great. And my dad tried to explain it to me. Yeah, it's not really a funny memory.
It's a nice memory.
Well, I used to be obsessed with birds.
Okay.
So I used to sit in my garden in the bushes and I just observed birds like entire afternoon. Yeah, it's quite strange. I'm surprised I had friends, but that's what I used to do.
Why birds?
No idea. They just seem interesting to me. They look so clever.
Do you have favorite kind of birds?
Maybe parrots,
Why?
because they seem exotic. They just seem interesting.
So, you told us earlier that you had a lot of interests, and one of the things I remember was art.
Yeah,
Would you like to tell us a bit more about that?
yeah, I love art. I was thinking why I'm so interested in arts, and I have this theory that maybe it's because it helps me to stay in the moment. Because, as I said, I always tend to go into future. I tend to think about what will happen, and when I appreciate art, like when I listen to music, when I watch a really good movie, I actually, my thoughts stops. I don't think that much. It's just this present moment, and that's what counts. Because I pay so much attention to this piece of art, and it also affects me a lot. So it just helps me remain in the moment. That's why I love art.
We were meant to go and do this interview in the art gallery, but
Yeah.
it was too late for that.
It's a really nice place. They have a huge window, and you can sit by that window and can appreciate the park. So I love to go there.
Yeah, you told us that it's your favorite spot in Manchester.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite spot back home?
Well, it's probably my grandparents' place, and it's not because of the, about the location, or it's not about the architecture or anything. It's just about my grandparents. If you ask me about the place, like physical place,
No, it's up to you. Like, it doesn't have to be physical.
yeah,
So why your grandparents?
they're really inspirational. Because I can see that they trying to be open-minded, and they, even despite their age, they try to learn new things. They cope so well with technology. My granddad has a Facebook and WhatsApp, and it's just I feel that I'd like to be like them when I'm old. And they also they're really open-minded in terms of judgments, so they don't take things personally. They always try to laugh, and they have a great sense of humor, so they inspire me a lot, and I love spending time with them.
Who is your role model?
It's my granddad. Yeah, just because of the things I mentioned, because I just want to be like him.
What would you be as a grandparent, do you think? Would you like to would you like to be a grandparent someday?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what I'm going to be, but I know that I would like to be non-judgmental, and I'd like to be the kind of person that has a lot of knowledge, but at the same time they want to share it with people in a positive way. And I think it's really important not to take things so personally. So I would also, it's just, I think I would like to be just like my grandparents.
So now can we get the answer for the question that we
Asked earlier, yes, which was what do you think is true but not a lot of people agree with? Do you think it's coming to you now, or not really?
It should.
Or maybe as
You
a starting
value.
point,
Well,
something that you really believe is true, not necessarily something people disagree with.
yeah. Well, I feel that I think a lot about mental problems of people, because a lot of people don't realize that it's the actual disease, and there are actually scans of brain that show that it's just, you know, the activity of different areas of brain change as you have some mental problem, like let's say depression or anxiety. So I like people to know that it's not just something that other people make up, it's the actual thing and it's tangible. And I feel that yeah, I'd love people to realize that, because it's probably hard for people who have some mental problem when they don't really have the courage to speak up about their problem, because they think that maybe it's just their laziness, you know, maybe it's just their personality, but in fact it's something more serious and they should get treatment.
So to finish this off, do you have any advice that you would like to give the world, to future Maja, to us?
To appreciate different other people and to just try not to make things make people feel worse, just, you know, to try to have a positive impact on people, even if it's going to be just something small. You can always compliment people or smile at them. It would be really nice to, you know, have this kind of attitude.
Thank you very much, Maja.
Thank you.
Thank you.